here with your Thursday's thoughts. Well, I tell you what, if you've been looking at the newspaper recently, I know you've probably been as concerned as everybody else about what's happening in the economy. Well, let's talk about that for a second, will we? You know, if you saw one recent report from the National Association of Real Estate Agents or National Association of Realtors, they said that sales of existing houses fell 8% in September. That is the largest one-month fall since 1999. If you look a little bit further into the paper, they say that mutual funds are on empty. They're saying things such as pension plans are going broke. And yet on another piece of the paper, they're also saying that the stock market bounces back after a 300-point drop because of good news. Now, doesn't that make you a little confused as to what's happening? Sure, it would anybody. And I'm with the emails and the phone calls and everything that I get on a consistent basis every day, I know people are confused out there. Well, let me ask you this. Let's stop and think about this for a second. Have you ever walked into a car dealership and said, "I want that car, but I want to pay I want to pay the highest price that I possibly can"? No, of course not. Have you ever walked into a grocery store and said, "I'm not going to buy food today because everything's on sale"? No, of course not. Have you ever had something that you strongly desired and you walked into the store and it's 30% off and you go, "Well, I'm not paying for that. It's 30% off. I want to pay full price"? No. We all know to shop for bargains. In the housing market right now, the biggest thing that's confusing a lot of new real estate investors is, "Oh, well, the market's down. I'll never be able to do anything with it." Why? Think about this. You're supposed to buy when prices are low and sell when prices are high. Right now, people who are smart, people who are intelligent, the investors who know what they're doing, the experienced investors, are all looking for houses that they can get into cheaply, hold for longer term, and ride the wave back up when it goes back up. You know, real estate is not a get-rich-quick game. It is a long-term game. You're in the right market to do that, to buy houses to hold for long-term, because rents should be going up. Okay? So think about that. You can buy a house at the lowest possible price that you can right now, rent it out for the highest possible price, hold on to it until the market goes back up and have all that equity. Well, let's say that you're new to the game and you don't want to hold houses, that you don't want to be sitting on houses and rentals and all that stuff. That's not your game. Well, then what you have to do is build your buyer's list with experienced real estate investors who are buying right now. They're looking for a discount right now, and they're willing to hold houses because that's their portfolio. And you wholesale to them. Where can you find these houses? Well, right now, with foreclosures being as high as they are, I just did a presentation last night. And one of the things I talked about is that all the signs are there, all the indicators are there that the banks are starting to negotiate short sales. I know a gentleman who's gotten into a mortgage company, and whenever they have houses in his area that are going into foreclosure that need to be short saled, he gets this list from them. He's got that contact. He made that network. I know you'd like to have that too. It's not the point of this. The point is that in your area right now, there are tons of foreclosures that are happening. You need to be at the forefront of that. You need to be in front of these people. You need to be contacting these people. And you need to be working short sales with the banks. It's time. I've got a document that was faxed over to me by one of my clients. And the document basically is from a bank unsolicited to the seller, saying that we know you owe $140,000 on the house. We're willing to accept $103,000 if you can close quickly, or if you can sell quickly. In this case, it was sent to the seller. It wasn't sent to the investor. It wasn't even solicited by the seller. When I mentioned this last night at one of my presentations, one person made the comment. He said, "Yeah, I've got 3 of those in the last week where sellers have called me and said, my bank is sitting there telling me that they're willing to take a short sale," and they didn't even ask for it. It's time for the secret storm, people. The secret storm is coming. I call it the secret storm because all the inexperienced investors are going to get confused, and they're going to be scared, and they're going to be backing away. Man, this storm, this perfect storm, if you will, is there for the taking. You just have to know how to work the deals and not be afraid. But always remember, rich dad, poor dad. I mean, rule number one, buy low, sell high. Real estate investing, rule number one, buy low, sell high. You make your money when you go in. People are still getting divorced. They're relocating. They're having medical bills. They're having to move quickly for whatever reason. They're behind on their payments. Their arms are going up. There's been some kind of disaster in their house. It's still happening. You as a real estate investor need to know how to work with those scenarios. Okay? So, don't let the bad news in the market continue to tear you down and scare you. Right now, you're in the best possible place you can be, as long as you know how to invest right. Be on the lookout here in a few days. I'm going to be sending you an email talking about how you can learn to do short sales the right way. We just did a seminar last night. We're doing another workshop last night. We're doing another workshop tonight. And I tell you what, the enthusiasm is fantastic about it. And if you're going to be in the real estate game, you need to know how to work short sales. And I'm going to show you exactly how. That's all for today. This is Terry Weigel with his Thursday's Thoughts. See you on the flip side.